All right, so now we're moving into a couple of final stages here, and that is your internal pages. We have this sort of background image right here that you can see, and all we did is we took an image, and the size of the image is 1920 by 1080 pixels. We took a regular sort of themed type image, we put it into Photoshop, and we faded it down, and we blurred it out a little bit, and we created a background image that just doesn't have a lot of interference with the content that's on top of it. In terms of the text is very legible on top of that image. We don't have something that's hard to read, and that was the whole idea behind this sort of section here, is you can give a little bit of a hint, a little bit of something extra without taking away from the actual content. Now, how do we change that? We'll just show you. I'll just start with I'll actually pop in a Dreamweaver here for a second. Let's say we're on the About Us page, and now there's two things we can do here, and I'll explain that you can change that background image in all of your pages site-wide just by replacing the image in the folder directly. So if we look at this background image right here, and if we use the About Us page as an example, right, I'm just going to scroll right down here and go to the main section. And I'm doing this in code just to give a better explanation because I can't really show this in design view, is the background image for this section is right here. And this is it for all pages, exactly the same way. For the main raised div container, we put the background image directly on the container, and here's a link to it right here. My apologies, I said the image was 1920 by 1080. This is actually 1920 by 859, but for most of our themes, it's actually 1920 by 1080. The height won't make a big difference. The width will. So I recommend minimally 1920 wide and then whatever height the image takes up. But if you want to change every single page in your site wide, so if we go from the About page to the third column page, if we want to change this background image across the entire site without editing any code, all you need to do is you need to open up your site and your themed images and your backgrounds folder. And you just need to create a new image, call it section bg1 themed image PNG. So it's right here. That is the image. You want to use the exact same file name and file type. It needs to be a PNG image, and it needs to be a that basically just section-bg1-themed-image.png. Pop it into this folder, replace the existing image, boom, done. Across the entire site, your image, your background images are updated. If you want to do individual pages, you can. You can open up an individual page. We'll take the thank you page as an example. Same thing, we're going to scroll on down or get down to the main section right here, and you just change this image right here. Now I recommend, to keep things sort of consistent, is put your new background image right here into the backgrounds folder, and then you just put the name of the image right here. Now it can be a JPEG image if you want it to be. We've used PNG images. That way, if you change the background color from white to something else, off-white, gray, whatever color you want, that image will still show up on top. But anyways, that's all you need to do to change that background image.